Hey everyone, this is Trish Kane, CEO and founder of Healerverse. Welcome to the Healerverse Roundtable. I want to welcome everybody to our community. Everybody is welcome. We're leveling up global collective consciousness together, mind, body, and spirit. We're doing it with unity. And that's basically our mission statement. And I've been sharing it everywhere because we don't want to forget that. It's important, very important, Make sure you're always going in the direction of your mission statement. It's 2026. And one of the suggestions that I made for people is go back to your mission and vision statement and see if you're in alignment or not. I know I'm more in alignment right now than I was even a week ago. I think that's sometimes how it goes when we're healing. But also, I want to invite everybody onto Team Healerverse. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff together and inviting people onto the team. So stay tuned for that. Today we have Denene Guidetti on the round table, which is super exciting. We've been best friends for 22 years, and she was one of the first two people that knew about Healerverse way before I told anybody. So pretty awesome, and I'm so proud of her, what she's doing. Wait till you see what she's going to offer you today. You maybe remember Denene from the event that we did in Miami. And so check out some of her content from that too. And she has the circle, and I'm going to pass it over to her right now. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Trish. Thank you so much for the warm and beautiful welcome. And hello, everybody. It is always a pleasure to be on a Healerverse roundtable. We really do create magic in this community, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. And this is like just the beginning. We're just getting started. There's so much in store from our virtual events, our events in real life. Trisha's always got something cooking in the background to get us together. And I really love that you spoke into your mission statement around unity. And there's this idea of union. And it's actually beautiful because that ties into a bit of what I wanted to talk about today, because there's so much going on. But first, I'll dive into who I am, what it is that I do. So as Trish said, my name is Denene Guidetti. We have been best friends for over 22 years. I have been in the health and wellness space for quite a long time. So ever since I was little, I had my intuitive and psychic or higher sensory perception gifts online. So I've been able to work with that. And I always just knew that I wanted to help people. So it led me down a very interesting and unique path. I do have a background in speech language pathology and communication. So when anybody's asking me about what it is that I essentially do, sometimes it's hard. And I think you guys might be able to resonate if you are a healer or if you work in this space, where we get to a space where we feel like we kind of don't have an identity anymore and like the labels don't fit. But for the sake of this conversation and allowing you to understand what it is that I do, I kind of consider myself a communication expert. So with my background in speech language pathology that I do have a master's in, right? So anything from nonverbal to verbal communication to energetic or higher sensory perception communication. So from one end of the spectrum to the other and everything in between, it's really what I'm an expert on. So we're going to be diving into that kind of energetic communication today, right? That receptive and expressive communication. And we can see that in so many aspects of our lives, whether it's our masculine and feminine energy, ascension, descension, everything is communication, everything is communicating. And that also speaks to the unity as well that Trish was speaking about, because we have both of those energies within us and we are able to access ascension and descension and other energies. So unifying within self helps us unify with the greater collective. So let's get into some fun stuff. I have some fun stuff for you guys. So I really want to get into some codes of reality, because that's another layer of the work that I do. I work and I transmit codes of reality for people, programming your field, intuitive development, and nervous system regulation. So when we're talking about codes of reality and our nervous system, an important part is a really powerful aspect of this time of year that we are in. Often when we move into the new year, because right now we are in the new calendar year of 2026, but we haven't exactly moved into the new energetic year yet. So the new energetic year starts at the spring equinox, right? Where everything is now in bloom, the rising of the sun. So we're kind of in this energetic portal. And there's a lot going on here. So we are in winter, which is actually a very, very feminine and yin season. But what often happens, we hit that calendar mark, right? The Gregorian calendar, the switch into 2026. And we are then, right, told to have this like new narrative, new year, new me, to pump out, new goals, new intentions, right? It's very hyper masculine. And that's why we are experiencing imbalance or disharmony, or almost, right, like where that unity cannot flow beautifully because there is an imbalance between our masculine and feminine seasons. So we can see that fall and winter are feminine and spring and summer are masculine, right? So magnetic versus electric, okay, feminine, masculine. So the feminine seasons being very magnetic, a time to draw inward of that stillness, of reflection, of repair. Masculine seasons are more electric. They're external, they're outward, they're forward moving. But we are programmed to bypass that season. And many people ask me, why does it matter? And it's so funny whenever they ask me that, I'm like, the answer is actually in the question that you are asking me. It does matter. So with that said, Trish, am I able to share my screen? Perfect. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys because what I'm going to share, sometimes I feel like having a visual actually helps like drive it home. So let me just pull this up and share this with you guys. Okay. I'm going to go to present mode. Okay. And let me go back here. Why is it not sharing? Hang on, you guys. Here it is. Perfect. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Little thumbs up. Awesome. Okay. So why does this matter? And so now you're really going to see my language background. I geek out about words. There's so much power in words, in written words and spoken words. So we're going to get into it. So there's only a couple, but I think having the visual again will help. And this is where you see the teacher in me. So coming full circle here for our Healerverse Roundtable. But that word matter, okay? So matter actually is related to mother and matrix. So they come from the same root. So it's very interesting how we can see that language remembers what science often forgets. Now, and we could see this from many different root words, from Latin, from Greek, from Sanskrit, Old English, okay? Mother is the origin. So matter is mother. We also get materia, which is substance and source. And matter, that which forms reality. So matter was actually named after the mother substance. And we're looking at materia and matter. It has deep relation to alchemy. So in our classical sense of thought, matter was actually receptive, fertile, full of potential. This is the feminine principle. This is the womb space. And that's what winter is. It's the womb space of the year. So matter was not dead. It was generative. And so matrix also comes from matter, and its original meaning is womb source and that which gives rise. So the matrix actually is the mother field. So again, matter, mother, matrix, they come from the same root, but it's language that science has forgotten.
I have a question.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about matrix today in a positive sense.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, absolutely. Because again, matter, why it matters. Matter,
Yes.
matter, matrix.
I love it.
Mother, substance, and the womb of creation. So different words, but same origin. We're all coming back to that origin point, the mother. All of life springs forth from the womb. Life does not spring forth without it, right? That's where it is the generative space, the fertile soil, okay? So, and in philosophy understood this, matter was potential, form is creation. So the womb is where potential becomes form. And physics now says, right, reality arises from fields and matter emerges from a matrix, right? So language actually knew first. So we're coming back to this deep knowing. So reality is not made from dead matter. It emerges from a living maternal field. So getting back to honoring the mother, honoring the womb of creation that is everywhere, but honoring our feminine seasons instead of bypassing them. Now, the interesting thing about this is, right, so when we're in winter, again, feminine yin season, it's representative of the menstrual phase of a woman's menstrual cycle. That's reflective in that. And so during this season, again, it's a time of stillness, to draw inward, to rest, right? To be in reflection, to repair. But the beautiful part, right? So when we have this whole like new year, new me, let's push it out, let's pump it out. What happens is people will do that. And I'll see like out the gate, right? It's like all gas, no brakes, but they end up running out of steam. They can't fully sustain the charge, because when we're in this state, right? And we're coming back down to 0 point field, right? This is the descent of the year, right? We have ascension and descension. And it's very important because, again, it's connected to each other. And we'll see this even deeper as I go into some of these masculine and feminine energetics that are representative here. But so within this space, this womb space, right, that we are in within the year, I'm just going to omit some people as they're coming in. So from this point in the stillness, the winter and the menstrual phase of a woman's cycle is actually a very psychic and potent time. So we can receive pearls of wisdom, ideas. We are pulling this down from the ethers. Now, let's take a look at this. So we have etheric plane, physical plane. When we are in stillness and we are able to access, right, conscious seed points, ideas, pearls of wisdom from the ethers, we are going to pull it down into the physical plane. So think vertical access. It's also very phallic in nature, very masculine. Okay. But what happens with that masculine nature and in a phallic sense? What does it do? It's something that enters. So we pull that in, we draw it into the feminine principle, the magnetism. So it is entering the magnetic field, the feminine field in the physical plane. And that is horizontal access. That is feminine. So vertical access to horizontal. Many of us get stuck on that vertical access point, that masculine access point, and we get stuck in a fixed point. When we have horizontal access, we create more anchor points in the physical plane, which means we have access to more bandwidths of frequency, and we can stabilize the energy in a more creative, physical, tangible, palpable form. So we can play in the physical plane with this energy. It stabilizes. It becomes more fun, actually, more juicy. We ground it into the physical plane, but we continue to bypass that when we bypass the seasons. Does anybody have questions so far? Because I know I'm throwing a lot at you. But is everybody following? Awesome. So it's not one or the other, as we could see. It's utilizing both of these to our advantage. They both serve a purpose. But again, we've been programmed to bypass the feminine seasons. Now, if we bypass this, we miss ample opportunity to pull down these conscious seed points and to plant them within the womb space of the year, where we can then tend to it. And in this space, we can build up a charge that is sustainable throughout the rest of the year. When we can do this, right, the charge within our field, our heart-brain coherence, our nervous systems, we want to create stable and coherent pathways versus erratic or incoherent, right? It's like a Wi-Fi signal. You want a strong, solid signal versus one that is weak and basically jacked. So when we can do this, when we can actually lean into the seasons that are available to us, we can actually create and sustain these charges and pull down the energy from the etheric plane and stabilize it and ground it into the physical plane. So definitely some interesting things coming up. And another layer of this. So let's go a little bit deeper. So we're at a very interesting point as well. We are at the tail end of the year of the snake. Right. And we're going to transition into the year of the fire horse. So I love working with these archetypal representations. Now, the year of the snake, beautiful representation of ascension to descension, perfect for this time of the year. And with the tail end of the snake shed, okay, this is another reason why we don't want to bypass and immediately jump into a hyper masculine season, right? Because as a snake sheds its skin, it's slow, it's methodical. Right? It's the slawing off of that which doesn't fit. So this has been a lot in terms of our identity, right? Our authenticity, challenges to the ego, bringing up anything again that doesn't fit. It's like trying to fit into like old clothes. Like right now, if any of us went back to like throw on an outfit that we wore in high school, it most likely would not fit, right? So we are shedding that which does not fit. And in that process, as the snake sheds its skin, what's happening? It's raw, right? It's vulnerable. It could be very porous. So we want to take time to integrate this before stepping into something new, because we are cultivating, again, a whole new skin at this point and embodying that. So giving time to integrate the experience, but also we are not done shedding yet. So we are not switching into the year of the fire horse until February. And then again, we're still in this portal leading us to the energetic new year. But so right now, what some people may be experiencing as we continue to shed, again, it's the tail end of the shed. So our tail end, our lower chakras, so solar plexus, sacral, and root, are going through a clearing and an upgrade. So some people may have been feeling tightness or pain in the back, in the hips, in the pelvis, right, in the stomach. So again, changes to digestive issues, appetite, menstrual cycle irregularities. Or if you have surrendered to the shed and haven't been resistant, you actually might feel lighter in those areas. It might feel like a reprieve to any of the heaviness or density that you might have been feeling. It's gonna show up differently for everybody depending on what your experience was. But it's a powerful time to integrate, again, to be in the stillness, in the womb of this creation as we close this out before jumping into a new cycle. And the year of the horse is going to be very, very, very interesting. I've been pulling in so much information about this. And actually, in terms of masculine and feminine energetics, the horse is a beautiful representation of both of those energies. And so we have a lot that we are going to be coming into awareness and embodiment around this new archetype. But let's see, I'm going to pause there for a second to see if anybody has any questions about anything that I've been sharing so far. Again, I know it's a lot. Yes, please. Feel free, guys, to unmute yourself or like type in the chat if you have any questions. Or do you want me to keep flowing? Keep flowing. Okay. I love that. I love that. So let's keep going. Let's dive into, so actually one really special thing we are going to do, so might as well talk about it now. Next week, we are going to offer through Healerverse, I'm going to be leading a burn ceremony. Now, burn ceremonies are super powerful. Again, fire, very powerful element, represents transmutation. So we are going to be doing that with Healerverse. We're going to be doing it on Thursday. I believe the date is the 15th. So we're going to be doing that on the 15th. So you guys will be receiving information and invites around that. And why it's powerful to do it this time, because we can utilize the fire element to burn through any of this residual energy that we are releasing from the year of the snake. This was a long, again, slow, methodical process throughout this entire year. Everybody felt it to some degree, some more than others. It just depends on where you're at and your own unique experience. We are going to be sharing the tickets on Healerverse. I believe the time, I think we were going to aim for 7 p.m. Just going to confirm with Trish if that is a good time, because we can always shift the time, but I believe 7 p.m. But so through the burn ceremony coming together, and they are powerful. So yes, 7 p.m. EST. And you can do these individually. You can do them in a group. I tend to do them in both ways. So I do burn ceremonies with the group, The Circle, that I host. We do them often. I also do them solo, but they are very, very powerful in the process of transmutation and transmuting this energy. And also, again, we are passing the torch, lighting the way to a new archetype. So we can utilize the fire energy, especially because we are moving into the fire horse year, right? And so we could use this as part of the process of honoring the process that we went through, right? And also part of our integration process. Now, with the fire horse, this is what I will speak into about that, because there's going to be so much more. And actually in February, I'm going to offer a masterclass around the year of the fire horse, because there's so much energy there. But what we want to lean into is, again, not being all gas, no brakes out the gate. This is going to be a year, right? We want to harness the fire. We don't want chaotic fire, because fire, even though a very powerful and very potent element, can also be destructive. And even though destruction is a form of creation, right? We want to make sure that we are harnessing the fire and not letting it burn wildly and erratically, where it could be more chaotic, right, than beneficial to what we are utilizing it for in our goals and intentions. Because this is that time when we are in the womb space as well. Again, we're setting the intentions, we're getting the ideas, we're pulling down the pearls of wisdom, right? We are planting them in the fertile soil. And then once the waters right now are frozen. But what happens to water when it's frozen? It crystallizes. And they take on beautiful, unique shape. If you've ever seen under a microscope, right, what a snowflake looks like, the beautiful geometric patterns and all the work that we know that has been done with water, right? Water representative of not only our emotions, but the deep watery depths of our psyche, right? Our psychic abilities and higher sensory perception, all connected there. And we know water is programmable. Dr. Emoto did all those wonderful studies with water. So as we plant these seeds in our fertile soil and also program the waters, when the waters begin to melt after winter and move into spring, it's going to be the waters that then are nurturing those seeds that we planted. So there's a lot of, again, connecting and intention setting and goal planning that can be happening now. And then we will have the energy, the coherent stabilization and charge to push forth and take action, right? We're sustaining the charge now for the masculine energy, the outward expression that we are going to have when we come into spring and summer for all of this. And so with the fire, again, powerful, but we want to learn how to harness it. So we don't want to be all gas, no brakes right out the gate, right? Because what happens to a horse if it does that? It could burn out. So this is going to be a year of leaning into conscious awareness around discipline, because we can have conscious awareness to know, right? For a horse, this is a year where we do want to allow ourselves to run free and unleash, but also have the knowing, the conscious awareness of when to rein it in. But there's a difference. You can have the conscious awareness of when to rein it in, but do you have the discipline to follow through on that rein, right? And pull those reins. So there's the conscious awareness around this, the discipline to follow through, nervous system, right? And nervous system regulation is going to be paramount moving forward. Also heart-brain coherence. A horse's auric field, right, is huge. And horses are so they're powerful animals, right? So this is where we're going to see the masculine and feminine energetics. They are powerful. There's drive, there is passion, but they're also deeply nurturing and intuitive. So this is a great archetype, a great representation of masculine and feminine energetics and how they can come together in unity and unify. So I think we're going to get a lot of lessons on how we can embody that within ourselves. But when we're talking about unity and balance with masculine and feminine energy, I like to always remind people that it's not going to be at an equal fixed state. It's not that type of balance. Balance is fostering the awareness on how we are moving and flowing between the two, because at some point you will be in one more than the other. We see that represented in our year. Women see that with our menstrual cycle. We see that. Like sometimes I need to be more in my masculine energy, but again, fostering that awareness, then I know that I need to balance that out and dip back more into my feminine energy. It's beautiful cycles. They're symbiotic and they lend to each other. So we're going to have a beautiful, this whole year is an invitation to really embody that and work with that. So I like that this is coming up for us at this time as humanity, because I think it's a beautiful invitation that we need to lean into, and it's going to help us move forward. So yeah, we do have a lot coming up. So we've got the burn ceremony for everybody. We do have the Fire Horse Masterclass, because there's so much I've been downloading. That's the other cool thing, right? Because I've been leaning into this feminine season and being inward, right? And receptive. I've been able to pull in so many downloads about this. I actually can't stop writing. So like, it is a beautiful active energy, but we're carving out the space to receive. The feminine is receptive. We could see this mirrored in the breath. The breath has masculine and feminine aspects, right? Inhale, feminine. Exhale, masculine. And a point I posed on social media the other day to everybody, something to think about. Can you continue to exhale without taking an inhale? No. You end up what? You're almost starved for air. You feel suffocated. So we need that flow, that balance between the two. Okay. So again, something to think about. Same thing as another analogy is an arrow. Can you shoot an arrow forward without pulling it back first? No. So this is that inward draw. This is that inhale, that point of the year. So leaning into that and not trying to bypass it with so much external force and masculine principle, coming back and honoring the mother. Because as we see, as I shared before, it does matter. It absolutely matters. Dr. Tim, you might have to go back and listen to the beginning. I did a whole thing on language and the terms matter, matrix, and mother, and how it's the living field, how language remembers what science forgot.
Talking my language, sister.
I know I am.
I'm sorry I missed it. But I'll go listen.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, I just threw a whole bunch at you guys. So I would actually love to hear too, like, is this landing for everybody? Like, how do you feel with this? Are you experiencing this during this season and time of year? Like, how is this resonating? How is this registering? Or any questions about what I shared?
No, I'll talk to you, Denene. No, let me tell you something. There is unquestionably an energetic shift that is massive, and you got it, and I got it, and everybody's feeling it. And if you're not feeling it, you're just not paying attention. So, no, I am so excited about what you're doing here, and you count me in like 3 times on your on your ceremony. I'm all in.
Yes.
So, I can tell you from my own personal perspective, and you guys haven't seen me on here because I have made an international move, and I'm speaking to you from Panama now, and I have some things to talk to you about that will blow your mind, and an invitation to make to you and to Trish and to anybody else who wants to come down here and do a retreat. So
Ooh.
I have a place for you that's going to blow your ever loving mind.
Retreat.
Yay!
You're speaking our language.
Tim, it's hard to hear you a little bit.
I'm sorry. Is this better? Check test 1, 2. Is that better?
That's better. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yay!
Yeah. It's no. I'm telling you, if you knew what I was looking at, you would explode. We're living here on the west side of a dormant volcano called Vulcan Baru, in the west side of west end of Panama, up next to Costa Rica, and the energy here is freaking believable. And I'm telling you, we're going to get you guys down here when we've got things kind of halfway settled, and you are going to have a mind blowing experience down here.
Thank you so much.
I feel that as you're speaking into it. So we've been talking about this. This is another conscious seed point, another intention that Trish and I have been pulling from the etheric plane to ground and stabilize in the physical plane. So yeah, this is another conscious seed point and intention that we are nurturing at this time to manifest in our physical reality. So yes, this is the perfect time for this. I'm so happy that we are actually speaking into this on this call, because it absolutely all aligns.
I feel like nurturing is such a good word for like what Tim just articulated, because like just being with you guys on a retreat would be amazing, like at Dr. Tim's house. I've been calling him Dr. Tim for so long. It will feel so good to be with you guys at Tim's house, yeah.
Well, even think about that too, right there. Like the word retreat, right? Think of that, to retreat, that inward flow. It is very nurturing. It's representative of the feminine principle. And a lot of us need that because we are stuck or either programmed into be hyper masculine all the time. So again, carving out these points where we can retreat, we can be inward, we can reflect, we can again honor all of these seasons. It's important, and I think we're going to see more of this popping up, and more people are going to be embracing this and coming together in community. That's the other piece, right? I was talking about how the nervous system is going to be like now more than ever, and like we know because we're a part of this community and we're conscious and we're aware about it, about nervous system regulation, and we can have so many tools, right, like in our toolbox, between somatics and different things that we can do to regulate our nervous system, right? Stimulate the vagus nerve, right? Whether it's through breath work or meditation or chanting or whatever it is, movement, all of that. But the number one thing that is the best for nervous system regulation is like-minded community and mutually empathic witnesses. Because our trauma and what could dysregulate our nervous system, it's relational. It happens with other people. So coming together in community, again, like-minded people, mutually empathic witnesses, that does wonders for the nervous system. That is a main driving force of why I started my community, The Circle. It's a main driving force of why I'm a part of Healerverse, right? Coming together with community is going to be the game changer, the foundational piece for our nervous system regulation. We can have all the tools and all those things are great, and we can still use them and need them and work with them and embody them. But it's the community aspect that we really need. And that's what makes all the difference. And you'll feel it. You'll feel it when you're on a call or at a retreat, right? You feel the difference in yourself either before you hopped on or before you went and when you leave. Because you feel seen, you feel understood, you feel witnessed, and your nervous system can begin to regulate and feel more comfortable in the other fields, right, that you're connecting with around you. So that's another beautiful invitation that we are going to have this year, is to go deeper into that aspect of community for our nervous system regulation. So very excited. So, I mean, Trish, you're doing it here. You're providing these community experiences for everybody, which absolutely makes a huge difference. Again, I have my community, The Circle. So my community is a women-based community, but I do also other events and masterclasses that are for both men and women. So we can come together that way as a group and unify and again, have that beautiful symbiotic flow and relationship with each other. So we have a lot of opportunity to come together and really move into these new energetics. It's very exciting. We're at a very exciting point. And again, it's us coming together through this unity that Trish has been speaking about in the mission statement of Healerverse. It's so important because there are strength in numbers, and us coming together through conscious understanding and emotional intelligence, and again, nervous system regulation. These are the things that are going to ground into physical reality and start making a difference within our world. The more consciously we're aware of things, the more discernment we have. That's a huge piece, the discernment between our nervous system and intuitive development. That's how you really shape your discernment. And we need that in a world where things are thrown at us every day and programs and structures and things that don't align and don't fit. We need our discernment through this process. And that comes through intuitive development and nervous system regulation. And again, honoring and bringing back the feminine principle, not just the masculine. We're starved for it. So it's about time that we embrace that. And it'd be nice to see everybody invite her back in, right? She's coming back, whether we really know it or not. It's going to be a big year of the feminine rising as well, but it would be nice to see everybody invite that principle back in and make a little room. Mama is coming. That's right. And yes, the strength in numbers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see.
I feel like too, like sometimes we don't recognize how much work we put in for so long and we keep going. And then in order to receive, because you said a lot of re's and I popped receive in there too, because it's
huge
like,
one.
yeah,
Receive,
in order
receptive.
to, and I was on the phone last night and I kind of said that too. It's like, sometimes you have to actually just receive that and enjoy. Like these roundtables have been so good. I'm so happy. I've been going out into my community. I'm spending more time with healers because that's nurturing for me. And that's what I want to do, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. And like being
Yes.
around
Well,
people that actually care.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you hit the nail on the head with that. Receive, receptive. That is the feminine yin principle. Absolutely. And think about that program. We've been so programmed to actually like associate rest with something that has to be earned, or that we're lazy if we rest. And I tell people all the time, rest is actually productive. Rest is absolutely productive. We need it. We can't continue to go and continue to sustain. Just like the analogy with the breath, you cannot continue to exhale without taking an inhale, right? So there's this beautiful relationship that we need to come back into this conscious knowing around and embodying it without feeling guilt or without feeling bad. So our rest does not have to be earned. It's something that is a part of us. Yes, the relationship, exactly. All the re's coming back into play. But see, like language remembers what these programs or sometimes what science forgets. Although there is a lot of science that is now catching up and bridging the gaps. And a lot of beautiful people in the science field and doctors. Dr. Tim is absolutely one of them who remembers all of this and knows it's one of the reasons we completely bonded was through this powerful aspect of language. And communication. So yeah, because all communication, it is expressive and receptive. That's what it is. That's the nature of our world. When we actually look at life itself, it's all expressive and receptive communication. That's the basis of life. And we
And I
can see
think,
that in everything. But again, there's been programs. Even look at, I was talking to somebody the other day, even look at the program, right? Okay. If anybody that's a mom on here right now, or even a parent, so you can, a man could have witnessed his wife or partner go through this. But so look at the program that we have in place that after a woman gives birth, she's like immediately supposed to bounce back, right? Bounce back in the body, like really be like super external and forward moving and outward expression and getting her body back and doing all of these things when like she really needs rest. I think it actually is, it takes over a year for a woman's body to fully recover from giving birth, but yet they program her to jump right back in and not have that period of rest after giving birth. It's like, why are we doing that to ourselves? So sometimes the program is subtle, right? Or sometimes it's really, really obvious and we can see it in so many ways. But yeah, I'm loving that you're putting all these words: relationship, remember, reflective, rest. Yes, we're coming
yeah.
back into the remembering of the relationship with the feminine principle on resting, receiving, and reflecting and repairing. So yes, and this is the
Yeah.
season that we are in. The womb is a beautiful space. Again, all of life springs forth from this place, from this void, from this fertile soil. It's generative. Again, matter, matrix, materia, the materia in alchemy. So we can look at this from so many lenses, from scientific to esoteric. There's so many ways that we can explore this. Yep, repairing, exactly. Exactly.
I was having fun with that, just putting anything that began with re that you spoke of in the in the chat for everybody.
But it lands, right? When you
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah.
words and again in this discussion, yeah, exactly. Oh my God, I love all of
That
these. Yes, recover,
recover.
remain, return. Return
Oh, I
is a
like that.
huge
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Right. And again, because it's a cycle. We do need both. It's not one or the other. Both are so incredibly important. Right. And we see that, right? Just look at the cycles of our year. Fall and winter are the feminine seasons, spring and summer are the masculine seasons. Both serve a very, very powerful purpose, right? For humanity and our evolution and life that we experience every day. But again, it's a beautiful cycle. And when we can lean into them, we bring more, exactly, we rebalance, we bring that balance back and that harmonious flow back into life. I mean, they wouldn't have thrown us off access if it wasn't if it wasn't important, right? This switch we had, right? The Julian calendar, then to the Gregorian calendar, and they're stating like life doesn't spring forth in the dead of winter. Everything is resting right now. But what did they do? They programmed us to be, oh no, new year, right? It has everything to do with being hyper productive, taxes, making money, right? Again, not giving us that space and time. It tilted us off a natural axis. Same thing, like why they changed the music frequencies. Our music used to be toned to a certain frequency. They switched that, threw us a little bit off axis, right? Why it matters. Again, it matters. That's a big word we've been talking about today. It matters. Exactly. We went from the 432 hertz, that natural frequency, to 444, threw us off that natural harmonic balance, right? So it makes a difference. So us reclaiming these natural cycles and leaning into both the feminine and masculine principles, right? Us reclaiming this, we're reclaiming our access, we're reclaiming our natural state, this is a full remembrance and reclamation of the flow of life and how we flow with that, in it, with it. We're moving, breathing, living, right, vessels of life. So bringing back that harmony and balance, that unity of that within self and within the collective. So, and again, very much in alignment with the Healerverse mission statement of unity. So full circle moments here.
It takes a little while after too, when you're in your masculine for so long, to kind of like rewire like your natural state. I'm only speaking from myself. Like I'm the most comfortable I've ever been in my body and in my life,
Mm,
Nothing got better or worse. I don't even like labels, but I'm just like, I'm at peace. And
love
it's
that.
because I've been resting. Because I literally am getting my love you, Dr. T,
Hi, Dr.
T, T,
T.
T, T. Um, like the resting has been so good. Like during the season, like I've needed naps in the afternoon. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
randomly, sometimes it's at 5 p.m. I'm
Yeah.
like, I just gotta close my eyes. And like all summer I stay up, like I sleep for like 4 or 5 hours and I'm fine. But like winter time, like even in Florida, it's kind of like just honestly honoring that too, like whatever you need, like honoring that. And like yeah,
Yes.
unity and collaboration like also helps with that because sometimes one person's on and sometimes the other person's on and to be able to like work together. Like I think that this feminine, which is very feminine, like, right? Because back in the day, before we had all these societal structures and stuff, women used to live together. Like the men would go do their hunting.
Hunting. Yeah.
Hunting. Yeah, I'm sleep deprived. Thank you, Mr. Gates. Um, like hunting and gathering, right? And the women would like take care of the kids and be their feminine and nurturing and stuff. So, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of people can, also look at this within their own experience. I could share from personal experience. There was such a long time where I was just fixed and like hyper masculine in my energy and not leaning into my feminine energy at all. And I thought I had to keep doing and producing. And, there's so many layers of what that, you know what I mean? Like we could explore, right? Like, thinking that my worth was tied to being productive and all of these things. There's many reasons why one can do that or experience that. But for me, I was hyper masculine and in my masculine and not leaning into my feminine. And I completely burnt out. I got so sick. So it went from right energetic to physical, right from dis-ease to then manifesting as disease within the body. I got very sick. And because I wasn't taking that time and I wasn't balanced within these energies, and again, remember, not fixed point, moving and flowing between the two, but because I wasn't doing that, there was no flow or movement between the two. I burnt out. So basically, my body put me in that timeout. Like, all right, you're not going to lean into this. You're not going to rest. Now you're going to be forced to. And a lot of us can experience that. And we can see that in our personal experience. I've talked to many people like that who have also experienced the same. So again, it does matter.
Yeah. And also, like when we're in our feminine, it allows us and relaxing, it allows us to get to know ourselves on a better level.
Mm.
And give ourselves self-love. Because not that it's not self-love going out there and like saying hi to everybody and stuff, but when we're able to take that time to ourselves and be like, who even am I?
It recharges
Yeah.
you. It
Yeah.
recharges you. And we do need to recharge, right? Again,
Yeah.
sustain the charge, build up. We're building up the energy reserves right now. So then the charge can be outward and external and expressive, the masculine principle, right? So, but, right, like we want to give the masculine energy also a chance and help that out, just like we want the masculine energy to be nurturing and honoring of the feminine principle. So it's just that relationship and honoring and respecting both. I saw your face respecting, like, yes. Right. But like,
Right?
how fun this is with language.
Yeah,
I'm
this is
so
like,
geeking out about it. I know, because that's my speech background in terms of language and words. So I see it
right?
all the
Is
time. But you see it, it makes a difference and it really begins to land when we are able to view it through this lens. So
Today is not going to be a normal day because no matter who I speak to for the rest of the day, anybody that says re anything, I'm going to be like laughing in my head, like inside Healerverse joke. You know what I
uh,
mean? Yeah, that's
the
actually
more
going to
we
be a
lean
good
into
day.
it, let me see, this coming year of the fire horse should be a year of abundance. We need to be prepared to welcome that and keep ourselves balanced.
Love
Absolutely.
that.
There's so much. And that's why it's going to be, and that's why I'm doing a big masterclass on it, because there's so much energy. Again, beautiful representations through this archetypal animal of masculine and feminine energy, harnessing that fire, not leaking it out, right? Not letting it be wild and erratic. Horses are also, so yeah, a year of abundance for sure, because horses are builders, right? We have conquered worlds and built nations on the back of horses. So they are builders. And again, leaning into the beautiful nurturing and intuitive aspect of it as well. We can pull in a lot of abundance with the fire and the action and the drive, but having the discipline and the conscious awareness and the knowing of where to direct it. because we're an interesting part. We are coming into, so when we shift, when we pass the torch with into the fire horse year, it's also on a solar eclipse. Now, eclipses, so we have them in February. So that same day, that exact day we are shifting is the solar eclipse, fire energy. And then we have another eclipse in March in the beginning. So we are also starting as we make that transition and pass the torch into the year of the fire horse. We have eclipse season. Now, eclipses are wild card energy, right? So it would actually be beneficial. This is when we want to have that knowing to hold our horses and not be all gas, no brakes right out the gate, because you might take that fire and direct it into an area that's absolutely going to shift and change due to the eclipse energy, because it changes, it shifts things. So I was giving this example of, this is very, very kind of like masculine example, but it can be for ladies if you like nice cars. But I was talking to a masculine friend about it. I was like, think of it this way. I was like, because I was like, February is going to be like the ignition when you get the keys. Like, I think you got the keys to a Porsche. You're going to turn those keys. You're going to rev that engine and you're going to want to open her up, right? Cars are always known as feminine, right? And we name them after a feminine. You're going to want to open her up, but you're going to pull out and you're going to be in some traffic. So you can't really open that baby up to see what she could do. So you've got to maneuver. You've got to take your time. You've got to move through lanes consciously, right? Respectfully, with an awareness. So, right, not to, right, impact you or anybody else, right, on the road. We want to keep ourselves going. And then you're going to hit that point where you're going to have that open road, and then you're really going to be able to see what she could do. But you have to have the discipline and the conscious awareness. Exactly. Be gentle with her. So we're going to learn that. We're going to learn when we can unleash, when we can really run, and then when we pull those reins and rein it in. But having the conscious awareness around that and the discipline to rein it in, two very different things. But we want to be able to work with both. But again, also the intuitive aspect and the nurturing aspect. So I'm going to be diving into all of this. I have so much knowledge about horses. I actually rode when I was little, and I'm very fluent in English and Western riding. So I know a lot about horses. So I've been able to dive into and really utilize a lot of information about this animal. So yeah, but we have a lot going through. So it's going to be a year of harnessing that fire. It's going to be a year of nervous system regulation. It's going to be a year of, again, heart-brain coherence. I'm also going to be sharing more with that because I did actually lead that in real life when we did the Healerverse event in Miami. That was one thing that I did. I led a whole heart-brain coherence experience. So I'm going to be sharing more of that and diving into that, but we have a lot coming up for us. So our first aspect of fire is going to be our burn ceremony next week, coming together to utilize that element to transmute and burn through any of the residual or tail end shedding we have going on with the year of the snake. So coming together again in community will really support our nervous systems through that process and utilizing that fire element. So we have that coming up next week. And then in February, I have the masterclass on the year of the fire horse and all of the wonderful things I've been sharing with you today. So we're going to dive even deeper into all of it, how you could utilize the energy, what would be beneficial. So we have a lot coming up for you guys.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely text me after you put the event on the Healerverse. That way I
Yes.
can, yeah. And also
It's going to be posted today.
actually, oh good. Because I'm gonna have like marketing update the email marketing. And I will
Yay.
say this, like the emails have been going out to like 80,000 people. Some of them are going to like spam, but like a lot of them are going through. I just decided to pull the trigger and do something a little bit crazy or whatever. So it's working out, I guess. Um, and yeah, honestly, I'm so grateful for you and I'm so proud of you and to be on this journey with you. And honestly, I used to type up your speech papers, but you wrote them. So that's super cool. And I'm grateful for everybody on this journey with us, you know. Um, I'm gonna see Natalie and Bev tonight. And like I really am so grateful for like the aspect of community and rewiring my DNA, renewing my being, and rebirthing myself.
Yes. See the rebirth again.
Yeah,
Where does all creation and life
yeah.
come forth from, spring forth from? The generating, right? That
Oh my
maternal
God.
field of the mother.
I just need some beats in the background to give me some like, ammo to like be a rapper right now. That everything has to start with great.
So funny that you said that. That's why I was sending you that music, that like conscious like music of yeah, between different styles and
Comment
genres.
and feel
Yeah.
free to like pop it in the Healerverse group chat too, like the big one.
I
Cause
do
like,
have to utilize that more. I always forget. I do have to do that.
yeah, it's
Yeah, because
amazing.
we do have a lot of people in that chat, and I definitely want to utilize that more. So yeah, we have a lot coming
Yay.
up.
Amazing. Let's
Let's
see.
see. Does anybody have any questions on anything I shared, or just any comments or the downloads you've been receiving about this too? Like, right? It's not just me. You guys are very conscious and aware. So you might be feeling this. You might have downloads around this or some wisdom or information to share.
Hi, Denene.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Manny?
Good, good. Thank you. I was distracted. I had somebody come in the room when you were doing that last slide, so I was like, I missed the grand finale, and like your segue. So can you please share? If you want to share the slide, that's great. But just
Yes. Let me see if I can pull it up.
how was that crescendo, right? Because I'm like following. I was tracking everything, and then I was like, oh,
Yeah, this was the last slide. It just said reality isn't made from dead matter. It emerges from a living maternal field. So coming back to remembering and honoring the mother because the womb of creation is present everywhere.
oh, that's so perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it's so funny when I was prepping for this, I was like, you know what? Because I don't always, sometimes I just speak, but I really felt like having some slides today to correlate and go along with what I was sharing in regards to that, because sometimes having the visual really helps. And I think that kind of highlighted and laid it out and nicely for everybody. Again, that's the teacher in me. I like to also cater to different learning styles. So oh, I love your background. I love that we're seeing the sky and the trees, Manny. Thank you for that. It's beautiful. And the sunshine.
Well, yeah, that's what made it perfect because I was literally I don't call this the womb of creation, but this is my safe space, my sacred space in my backyard. It's
Mm.
preserved, so it's always wild and it's um it's amazing how people are afraid of stepping here, whereas I go in there barefoot and like go ankle deep in the mud and just be the child that's still there kind of a thing. And
Mm.
I was like dancing inside myself, like, oh, that's perfect. Going into the womb of creation, go deep into the ecology of life, right? Just whatever one is experienced. Just we live in a world. Um, Trish, everyone in the recovery community is familiar with the fake it till you make it. That's a
Mm.
in 12-step recovery. But to me, it's more like face it to embrace it.
Ooh, I like that. Yes, I love that, Manny. Beautifully said. Face it to embrace it. Yes.
Yeah, we make up so much. We elevate in our minds. We tend to elevate the outcome of a situation and put so many different fearful or just close the door on it, facing it and embracing it. So face it. Like for example, here's one. Like no offense if this applies to one here, but like how many times do you see people like really go bonkers like because I don't have my sunglasses and I have clear eye pigmentation, or I need to put my sunscreen because I need protection, or I need to get my umbrella because it might rain. It's like so many ways that we're shielding ourselves from what nature's gift healing is.
Mm. And you bring up a really actually powerful point. So when we're talking about facing it, that's another reason why I think a lot of people bypass this feminine season and this winter, this womb space of the year, because within this space, it is a mirror. And this is where we do face a lot to shed, to release, to repair, to reflect. So a lot of people bypass it because they don't want to face, right, that mirror, or they don't want to face what is coming up to be released. So that's another level of why one can do that. So, yeah, when we come into this aspect and honoring this part of the feminine principle, we can face it, right, and embrace it. this is the space that allows us to do that.
Yeah, and when you were talking about the Gregorian calendar, I I think you may agree with me that there's a big disharmonious thing going on, right? That following the 13 moon calendar or just
Yeah,
bigger.
exactly. It tilted us off that axis. Yep.
What was that? Sorry.
It tilted us off that axis, right? When they changed it, right? The 13-month calendar would actually be perfect, harmonious 28 days. It would align with women's menstrual cycles. Like it all connects. You're correct. Absolutely. I'm so happy you brought that up. I forgot to mention that. Thank you.
And going back to I don't know if it was Dr. T or who it was, the 432 flip to 440, that's another of several attempts, right? Or strategies
Yep.
That's
to
right.
disconnect us from nature's ebb and flow, right? Inhale, exhale.
That's
I was
right.
getting a text from somebody that's never been on this call before about how like powerful and wonderful this is and everything.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah,
happy.
yeah. Actually, a few people were new today and like have never been on any of our calls, and basically was just expressing like, like that this is medicine, obviously, um but also like like to be able to uplift people is what we're here to do. And like it's basically the opposite of some of the things that are happening, right? And it's amazing that we're able to gather together and educate people and also just make people feel welcome. That's really cool. You know what I mean? So we're really blessed to have this space and each other, and everybody is doing so much work. Like what Denise's doing, helping women in her private community, like that everyone's welcome to join the circle. Like, I mean, she is really tapped into like what's going on in the ethers. And I just want to say this too, because Denise and I had a really long conversation last night. Like, we're all human, okay? Like literally, like there's no difference between Deneen and myself and Natalie and Bev and Manny and anybody, right? We're all human, but like we are all here with our own experiences and expertise to be able to help each other. So I'm so grateful for that. And
Mm.
honestly, Deneen, thank you so much. Yeah,
Oh, you're so welcome.
thank you for being in my life for so long. Thank you for being one of the first two people to know about this when it was a whisper.
Healerverse
Yeah,
is so special. No, I love the fact that I was there to see and witness this go from this beautiful creative idea that
yeah,
you pulled down and anchored and manifested into this physical plane, and it's bringing all of us together. Like this is so special. And we have such a powerful community. We have so many people who are really just down solid in their wisdom and their knowledge and what they're sharing and what they're birthing and bringing forth into this world for not only this collective but the greater collective. And it's powerful stuff, and we're coming together and we're sharing, and it just feels very serendipitous, like the timing of it all, like it came exactly when we really needed it. And yeah, it's truly special. So I'm honored to be a part of it, and I love these roundtables. I love these events that we get to have. Again, the community aspect is something that we all deeply need. It's something deeply nurturing. And again, it benefits our nervous system in such deep and profound ways.
yeah, I concur. And I think that's been kind of like this, like as you called it, a woming period for me. I've been very relaxed because I'm like, man, like, basically I released so much right before this uh like time period, I guess, of like real winter in Florida. I mean, we had like 40 and 50-degree days for like a week. That's winter right there. I think it's probably over now. It's 80 today. But yeah. But yeah, it's been such a time of, like you said, serendipity. Like, okay, like I built it now, and I'm literally, I'm like, all right, well, and like we have all this AI stuff that we built out to support our platform and other people and stuff too. And now it's like, all right, now I'm supposed to chill out, receive, allow like stuff to come in now. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes.
And also like
Yes.
being more tapped into like what I call the sixth dimension, which is like the laws of the universe. Because
Mm,
like one of the things that I'm supposed to learn this timeline and this lifetime is to learn how to master that. The sixth like dimension or the sixth plane, if you want to call it that, the laws of the universe, like which there's so many. And like I know that like you shared, there were so many years that I was not in alignment, that I was pushing against the wind or peeing. You know, like when you're like, like it's like a really graphic, disgusting like description of it, but like peeing against the wind. The wind is coming at me. Pretend I'm a fan, and I have one of those things.
no, it
And it's
makes
like
sense.
coming, and it's also splashing on myself and everybody around me. Like,
No, it's actually a really good analogy, and it's pretty funny too.
oh
Like
my
it
God.
really, no, that lands. That absolutely lands.
Yeah, like, and it was like, and it was still moving forward, but man, was it slow. And I think too, like, I felt us reach critical mass whenever that was, like early summer. I
Mhm.
felt it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I slept for like a month really well. Like, not for the whole month, but like, I was like, oh, finally. It's like, you know, and also right now, like, I know it's coming and it's now. It's now, now, now. So, like, it's a good time to rest before we're going to be even needed more so. Because, like,
Yeah.
you know, people need us, like, you know, and yeah, and thank God we're here for it. So,
You bring up a good point when you were talking about dimensional access, because actually, when we can again unify and come together with our right internal masculine and feminine energies, when we can honor both, again, have that symbiotic relationship moving and flowing between the two, we actually have and open ourselves up to more dimensional access points when we come into that balance with both, as opposed to just one. More dimensional access points open up because both are imperative in creation. You can't have life without one.
sure. And I
It's
feel like
important.
it's allowing like messages to come through from other realms and stuff and reminders of like what I was supposed to be doing and what I'm doing, and also like reflection and remembrance of what the hell I came here to do this timeline. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Yeah, I know I'm doing that on purpose a little bit, but this is also semi-channeled.
But I love it. Like, look how much, honestly, I really like. It's just incredible the amounts when I lean into this space of the year, this womb space, this menstrual cycle of the year. There is a reason why women are more psychic or tapped into their higher sensory perception when they are in their menstrual phase. I receive so much, again, so many conscious seed points, ideas, sparks of like innovation, right? Like creation, all these things I pull down again, vertical, coming down to horizontal, phallic, right? Down to the womb principle, masculine, down to the feminine, because that's what the masculine does. It enters, right? So we are in receptive, we are pulling it down. So we can take that from the ethereal and ground it into the physical. But I received so much in this space of the year. Again, I feel like I can't stop writing the downloads that come through, the channelings that come through. Yeah, it's very powerful.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to just, you know, say like definitely look for Denene on Healerverse on social media and everything. And is there any other things you want to say before we stop recording? Recording, and then I'm gonna leave us on, but I'm gonna stop recording. Yes.
Well, I will say we are going to, again, if you want to regroup and be a part of the burn ceremony, we have that again next week. We are going to come together. And again, we are going to utilize that fire element and come together as a community to burn through, transmute any of the residual energies that we have, closing out the tail end shed of the year of the snake before we enter the year of the fire horse. So we have our burn ceremony next week. And then I will also be sharing the masterclass on the fire horse energy that you do not want to miss. Like what I have been pulling through and continue to pull through in regards to this will absolutely blow your mind and shift your experience. You know what it's like? What this is going to do? It's going to blow your mind, but snap you right back into place in the best possible ways. It's like going to a chiropractor, you know, when you need to be adjusted, right? And you go and then he adjusts you and you're snap back into place and you're like, oh, yes, that's what that masterclass is going to do for everybody. And I could solidly stand on that. So it's going to blow your mind and snap you right back into place in all the best ways possible.
Thank you so much. I love you. Everybody, have a good day.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for your time and energy for being here. Appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.